What's going on, guys? This is Empty Box, and we got some Bad Company 2. And I'm really not going to be talking about Bad Company 2 because I don't have really anything to talk about for Bad Company 2 that you guys probably don't already know. So, yeah. But let's take this time to bring up some gaming news, I guess, for lack of a better term. Or not really news, but just things I'd like to point out. First of all, I'd like to say Battlefield 3, the patch notes are actually released. I'll put a link in the description or something like that. As I mentioned in my previous video about that, it's going to be a meaty patch for sure. And one of the best things I saw on there was decrease the repair tool speed for repairing vehicles, and I instantly just said, "Fuck yeah!" and raised my fist in the air. And I just did that right as I was commentating this because I'm a weirdo like that. So that's pretty good news. There's a lot of stuff on there. Go ahead and check that out if you're a Battlefield 3 player, because there's a lot of stuff on there, and hopefully we'll get that game flowing again in a good way. In other news, Tribes Ascend went into open beta, and if you're not playing that and you have a PC, you are a weirdo, because that game is pretty freaking amazing. And I'm honest when I say that. It's really a good game. You really need to check it out. It's free. It's going to be free to play even when it does actually come out officially. You know, even though it is now in the free-to-play open beta stage. So anyone can play it. Go check it out. Do a Google search for it. It'll come up, instantly. Trust me. Just do it. Just do yourself a favor and check it out. Worst comes worst, you don't like it, that's that. Chances are you will like it though, because the game is fun as hell to play. Honestly. It's just fun. So play it. No excuses. It's free. No excuses. It's free. No excuses. It's fun. No excuses. It's fun and free. So yes, that's that. That's no excuses. I'm telling you. Do it. Do it or I hunt you down. Anyways. And then there's also the other big one, which is Medal of Honor Warfighter has been announced, which I think we all sort of knew was coming, but wasn't official. Which, of course, is the new Medal of Honor game that's probably going to end up releasing this year, probably sometime in November, to go head-to-head with, of course, the Call of Duty game that is released this year, which will be, what, Call of Duty 2012? Who cares what they're called by now, anyways? It's just like a yearly sports game with a roster update. Am I right, or am I right? And you know I'm right. Even if you're a Call of Duty fan. It's just a roster update. You're paying $60 for the roster update. Honestly. But that has nothing to do with anything I'm talking about. Because, honestly, the thing I want to talk about regarding that is, that's probably going to actually make up the bulk of this video here, is that multiplayer is already revealed to, or is being developed by Danger Close, which, if you do not remember, you don't know who they are. Danger Close is the studio that did the single-player portion of Medal of Honor, and single-player in that game was pretty freaking good. Not gonna lie, it was quite possibly, in my opinion, one of the best modern FPS campaigns, obviously, since, campaigns started lasting, 5 hours. I'm not including games like, a Crisis, where, it's just built for single-player, more or less, with, a multiplayer mode still, but, it's clear where the allegiance lies and the balance there. But it was just a really good campaign. It was really solid. It was good, honestly. But multiplayer, of course, in that game was a major letdown. From on day one, where you had everybody with the M24 or the SV98, which would one-shot to the toes forever, and I mean, that just broke it. Then they patched that, and then apparently the battle rifles became the flamingly overpowered weapons and the crappy spawns. Not gonna lie, Medal of Honor 2010, whatever you want to call it, was a game that had a lot of potential, but it also had a whole lot of fail, as it was, and it did have a lot of fail. It was still fun, but it should have been much better. It could have been much better, but, again, potential versus realization is, obviously two different things, especially in video games, so, But Danger Close is doing the multiplayer rather than DICE this time, which I think is a good thing, because obviously DICE, I don't think, was really ever ever had a chance at making a game like a Medal of Honor work, because quite frankly, I just don't think it was their type of game to develop, you know. Plus coming in, just doing multiplayer, you know, and you had single player on one engine and then you had multiplayer on the other engine. It was just a mess. I don't know why they did it that way. I'm guessing it really had a lot to do with the fact that they just wanted to use it as a Battlefield 3, you know, pre-beta somewhat. You know, in some manners, of course, I don't know if that's actually, you know, confirmed or anything, or if we actually know that for sure. I'm just speculating here, but, you know, it is what it is. So I am very excited about that, actually, because quite frankly, if Danger Close can bring the level of gameplay that they had in the single player over to multiplayer, you know, we were looking at a game right there that could be amazing, could become a benchmark, potentially. Of course, again, potential versus realization are two different things, as I mentioned earlier, but I'm just kind of psyched up for it, because it can be done. You know, I think there is still some room in that area where, you know, your Medal of Honor, your Call of Duty fits in terms of, you know, I guess I'd say a medium-paced, modern-era shooter, you know. I think there's definitely room left. I mean, as much as I am sick and tired of modern-era first-person shooters, you know, at some point there is, you know, I mean, World War II, yeah, I would like a World War II game, to be perfectly honest, because it'd be fun. I mean, I'd like a Korea War game, I'd like a Vietnam game, only if it's done correct. I mean, you know, just there's so many interesting things, but at the same time, I don't think they fit as well as modern one would with, you know, attachments and everything and all that stuff, which, you know, do make more fun, but not necessary. But at the same time, you know, I think there's sexier. And wow, they are wrecking again at Daytona. Yes, I am watching a NASCAR race, because holy crap, there's like a 60 car pile up. They just wrecked the leaders like a pro, like a fucking pro. Yeah, so I'm a big racing fan. I hate NASCAR, but it's like still February and there's racing on, so I'm watching it. The 12 Hours of Sebring cannot get here fast enough. Yes, I just said that. I just went from video games to watching TV to laughing at guys who just wrecked themselves and caused like 50 car pile-ups. And yeah, I just did that seamlessly. Again, I really should not have the TV on while I'm doing commentaries because I get sidetracked. But anyways, yes, Medal of Honor, Warfighter, Medal of Honor 2012, whatever you want to call it. It's also mentioned that it will be using Frostbite 2, I believe, which, quite frankly, I think is a huge mistake, and I don't care for, because, again, it doesn't fit Medal of Honor, which is kind of one of the things that are a little bit scary, because I think, I can't remember what the single player in Medal of Honor 2010 right now, and I think is Unreal, or, I think is Unreal. One of them. Whatever. But it's a completely different engine. I think it ran at 60 frames per second as opposed to multiplayer, which obviously was 30 on the consoles. You know, which I think they need to reevaluate that, but whatever. We'll see what happens. Keep your eyes peeled for that, and remember, go play Tribes Ascend, because it's free. If you have a PC, it is free. Go play it. It is better than you think it is. It is free to play. That does not mean it is pay to win. This is one of the free to play games you must play. So yeah, bye. Psst, go play Tribes Ascend.